Before this video ends, you're going to realize something terrifying. Not about disasters, not about space, but about stability. Right now, as you sit still, you are moving. At the equator, you are traveling eastward at over 1,600 kilometers per hour, faster than a commercial airplane, and yet, you feel nothing, because everything around you is moving with you. The air, the oceans, the cities, the mountains, all locked into the same invisible motion. But what if, at this exact second, that motion stopped? Not gradually, not over centuries. Instantly, second zero. The Earth stops rotating, but inertia does not stop. Everything not physically fused to bedrock continues moving east at full rotational velocity. The atmosphere becomes a global shockwave. Winds accelerate beyond anything recorded in human history. Imagine every hurricane on Earth combined into one horizontal blast. Cities at the equator experience the worst impact. Buildings are not crushed, they are ripped sideways. Steel bends. Glass becomes airborne shrapnel. Cars lift off the ground. Airplanes in the sky lose stable air currents. The oceans continue moving too. Water does not politely settle. It surges. Massive walls of ocean sweep eastward, creating tsunamis hundreds of meters tall. Entire coastlines disappear within minutes. Islands vanish. Low-lying regions are erased from the map. The first hour is catastrophic beyond comprehension. But assume, somehow, pockets of humanity survive. Now the planet begins to transform. Earth is not a perfect sphere. It bulges at the equator because of centrifugal force from rotation. If spinning stops, that outward force disappears. Gravity slowly pulls water toward the poles. Over time, oceans migrate. The equator loses much of its ocean mass. New supercontinents emerge from exposed seabeds. Meanwhile, polar regions drown beneath relocated water. The geography of Earth reshapes itself entirely. Maps become relics. Borders become meaningless. But the most dramatic change isn't geographic. It's atmospheric. Without rotation, the Coriolis effect disappears. This invisible force shapes global wind patterns and ocean currents. Without it, jet streams collapse. Trade winds reorganize. Weather systems behave unpredictably. Storms no longer follow familiar paths. Climate zones shift violently. Now consider sunlight. With no rotation, Earth no longer experiences 24-hour cycles. One hemisphere faces the sun constantly. The other remains in endless night. On the sun-facing side, there is no sunset, no cooling period. Heat accumulates relentlessly. Deserts expand rapidly. Oceans begin evaporating in extreme regions. Massive superstorms form due to extreme temperature gradients. Cloud systems grow dense, trapping additional heat. Surface temperatures climb beyond survivable limits in many areas. Meanwhile, on the dark hemisphere, there is no sunrise. Temperatures plummet. Snow never melts. Ice sheets grow thicker year after year. Atmospheric gases begin freezing out in extreme zones. Entire ecosystems collapse in darkness. The surface becomes hostile. But there is a narrow boundary between these extremes. A twilight belt, a thin ring circling the planet where the sun hovers near the horizon forever. Perpetual dusk. Temperatures are moderate. Light exists, but not overwhelming. Darkness exists, but not absolute. This thin strip may become the only naturally habitable region left. Imagine humanity migrating toward an endless horizon, a civilization living in permanent sunset, cities stretched along a glowing ring. But survival would not be simple. Food production collapses globally. Crops require cycles of light and darkness. Endless sunlight damages plant systems. Endless darkness kills them. Agriculture must adapt artificially. Energy systems must relocate. Mass migrations spark conflict. Infrastructure collapses in unstable regions. The illusion of control dissolves. Now, let's go deeper. Earth's magnetic field is generated by movement within its molten outer core. Rotation contributes to the geodynamo effect. If Earth stops spinning permanently, that magnetic field may weaken over time. And without strong magnetic shielding, solar radiation bombards the atmosphere more directly. Communication systems fail. Satellites degrade. Radiation exposure increases. Auroras become visible at unusual latitudes. The sky itself changes. Over long timescales, atmospheric loss accelerates. Now think psychologically. There is no sunrise, no sunset, no biological rhythm. Human circadian systems depend on light cycles. Melatonin, cortisol, mood regulation, all tied to rotation-driven day-night patterns. On the dark side, depression rates skyrocket. On the bright side, insomnia and heat stress dominate. Time perception fractures. Days are no longer measurable in familiar ways. Calendars become abstract. Sleep becomes disordered. Mental health crises surge. Now zoom out even further. If Earth stopped spinning instantly, tectonic stresses could redistribute. Small shifts in mass distribution might trigger earthquakes. Volcanic activity might increase in certain regions due to crustal rebalancing. Ocean currents, normally driven by rotation, would collapse. Marine ecosystems would destabilize. Some species adapt, most do not. But here's the humbling truth. Earth does not die. The planet continues. Deep ocean ecosystems near hydrothermal vents remain relatively stable. Microorganisms underground survive. Extremophiles endure radiation and pressure shifts. Life shrinks, but persists, because life is not built for comfort. It is built for adaptation. Now imagine a softer version. What if Earth slowed gradually over thousands of years? Days stretch longer, seasons lengthen, civilization adapts over generations. Technology compensates. Artificial climate control zones emerge. Cities relocate methodically. Human biology slowly adjusts to extended light-dark cycles. But even then, the balance is fragile. The rotation speed we experience now is not random. It stabilizes weather systems, regulates ocean currents, distributes heat, supports biodiversity. We exist in a narrow band of cosmic precision, a precise rotation, a precise tilt, a precise orbital distance. Change one variable drastically, and everything reorganizes. The ground feels solid, permanent, reliable, but it is part of a spinning sphere, floating in space, held by gravity, shielded by magnetism, warmed by a star, all in motion, constantly, and the only reason you feel still is because everything moves together. If Earth stopped spinning tomorrow, it would expose a truth we rarely consider. Stability is not guaranteed. It is maintained by invisible forces. And those forces do not require our permission. The sunrise you witness exists because the planet turns. The sunset you admire exists because motion continues. You are not standing on solid ground. You are riding a rotating world through space. And as long as it keeps spinning, the illusion of permanence holds. But if it didn't, everything would change, not instantly into extinction, but into transformation. And transformation is far more unsettling than destruction, because it reminds us we are not in control. We are precisely placed, balanced, for now.